11 kilometers beneath the surface of the Pacific Ocean lies a place so extreme, so hostile, that even today it feels almost alien to our planet. A world where sunlight has never existed, where pressure is so immense it could crush a submarine like a soda can, and where the temperature hovers just above freezing in eternal darkness. This is the Mariana Trench, the deepest place on Earth, and despite decades of exploration, we still know more about the surface of the moon than we do about what lives in this abyss. Somewhere down there, in a place humans were never meant to reach, the ocean reveals a reality that challenges everything we thought we knew about life on this planet. If Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on Earth, were dropped into the Mariana Trench, its summit would still sit more than 2 kilometers underwater. That is the scale of this chasm, stretching nearly 2.500 kilometers across the western Pacific. The trench is a colossal scar carved into the Earth's crust by unimaginable geological forces. At its deepest point, known as Challenger Deep, the pressure exceeds 16.000 pounds per square inch. That's more than 1,000 times the pressure we experience at sea level. To put it another way, it is like having 50 jumbo jets stacked on top of your body. No human could survive there unprotected for even a fraction of a second. For most of human history, the Mariana Trench existed only as a myth of science. Early oceanographers believed that life could not possibly survive in such crushing depths. The abyss was assumed to be a silent, lifeless void, a watery desert at the bottom of the world. But in 1960, two explorers aboard a tiny bathyscaphe named Trieste descended into the darkness and shattered that assumption forever. As their submersible touched the seafloor nearly 11 kilometers below, something unexpected appeared in the beam of their lights, a living creature moving across the sediment. In a place once thought completely dead, something was alive. Since that moment, every expedition into the trench has revealed discoveries more astonishing than the last. Strange translucent animals drifting through black water, amphipods the size of mice crawling across the seabed, bizarre fish with gelatinous bodies adapted to pressures that would destroy any surface organism. Some scientists now believe that the Mariana Trench may host entire ecosystems powered not by sunlight, but by chemical reactions deep within the Earth's crust. But reaching this hidden world is extraordinarily difficult. Only a handful of humans in history have ever descended to Challenger Deep. Each expedition requires machines engineered to withstand pressures that rival those found inside a rocket engine. Even the smallest mistake could mean instant implosion. Yet scientists continue to push deeper, driven by a single haunting question. Because every time we explore the trench, we discover something that shouldn't exist. Creatures that defy biological limits. Chemistry that rewrites our understanding of life. And evidence that the deepest place on Earth may hold secrets far older than humanity itself. The real mystery is no longer whether life can survive in the abyss. The real mystery is, what else is hiding down there? To understand why the Mariana Trench exists at all, we have to look beneath the surface of the Earth itself. Our planet is not a solid shell. It is a restless system of enormous tectonic plates, vast slabs of crust that slowly drift across the planet's molten mantle. When two of these plates collide, something extraordinary happens. One plate is forced beneath the other and begins a slow descent into the Earth's interior. This process is called subduction. The Mariana Trench is the scar left behind by one of the most powerful subduction zones on Earth, where the Pacific Plate is diving beneath the smaller Mariana Plate. But this movement is not gentle. The Pacific Plate sinks into the mantle at a rate of several centimeters per year. That may sound slow, but across millions of years the motion creates a canyon so deep it reshapes the planet's surface. The descending plate bends downward like a massive sheet of metal being forced into the Earth. The result is a trench so vast that it can be seen from space, yet so deep that its bottom remains one of the least explored places in human history. As the plate sinks deeper, something else happens. Water trapped inside minerals in the crust is released under immense heat and pressure. This superheated water rises back toward the seafloor, carrying with it dissolved chemicals from deep inside the Earth. When these chemicals escape through cracks in the ocean floor, they create hydrothermal systems, vents that pour mineral-rich fluids into the surrounding darkness. In most places on Earth, life depends on sunlight, But here, at the bottom of the trench, sunlight is impossible, yet life still thrives. Instead of photosynthesis, many organisms in the deep ocean rely on chemosynthesis. Microbes use chemical energy from compounds like hydrogen sulfide and methane to create organic matter. These microbes become the foundation of an entire ecosystem, one that exists completely independent of the sun. In this strange environment, evolution has produced creatures unlike anything found in shallow waters. Fish with transparent skulls, shrimp that glow faintly in the dark, worms that can survive in temperatures and pressures that would instantly destroy most known organisms. But even more surprising discoveries began to emerge as technology improved. When robotic landers and deep-diving submersibles returned with samples from the trench, scientists found something disturbing inside many of the animals living there: traces of industrial chemicals, heavy metals, and even microplastics. In the deepest place on Earth, far beyond the reach of sunlight, human pollution had already arrived. Plastic fragments had been ingested by amphipods living nearly 11 kilometers below the surface. And yet, despite these intrusions, the trench continues to reveal biological mysteries. In 2014, researchers discovered microbes in sediment samples that appear capable of surviving pressures equivalent to being buried beneath 50,000 tons of water. Some of these microorganisms possess cellular structures that seem uniquely adapted to crushing conditions. Others produce enzymes that function only under extreme pressure. These discoveries hint at something profound. Life may be far more resilient than we ever imagined. But the deeper scientists look, the stranger the picture becomes. Because the Mariana Trench is not just a deep valley in the ocean. It is also one of the few places on Earth where the surface world connects directly to the planet's interior. And some researchers now believe that what happens down there could influence far more than just the deep ocean. For centuries, humanity believed the deepest parts of the ocean were irrelevant to life on the surface. A remote abyss, a silent geological graveyard. But the Mariana Trench is now forcing scientists to reconsider that assumption. Because what happens in the depths of the Earth does not stay there forever. The trench is part of a colossal planetary engine, one that regulates the chemistry of our oceans, the structure of our continents, and even the climate stability that allows civilization to exist. Every year, as the Pacific Plate sinks beneath the Mariana Plate, vast quantities of carbon-rich sediments are dragged deep into the mantle. This carbon, once part of ancient oceans and dead organisms, disappears into the Earth for millions of years. But it does not vanish permanently. Eventually, through volcanic systems around the Pacific Ring of Fire, much of that carbon returns to the surface as carbon dioxide released by volcanoes. In other words, the Mariana Trench is one of the gateways through which Earth's carbon cycle operates on geological timescales. A slow, powerful process that helps regulate the planet's atmosphere over millions of years. Yet the trench may also reveal something even more astonishing about life itself. Many scientists now suspect that environments like the Mariana Trench could resemble the conditions where life on Earth first began nearly 4 billion years ago. Before forests, before animals, before oxygen filled the atmosphere, our planet was a hostile world dominated by volcanic oceans and chemical energy. In such places, primitive microbes may have learned to harness energy directly from the Earth's interior, just as trench organisms do today. If that idea is correct, then the Mariana Trench is not just a deep ocean valley. It may be a living window into the earliest chapter of life on Earth. And the implications reach even farther than our planet. When scientists study organisms that survive in the crushing darkness of the trench, they are also studying the possibility of life beyond Earth. Moons like Europa and Enceladus, worlds orbiting Jupiter and Saturn, are believed to contain vast oceans hidden beneath layers of ice. These oceans may be completely dark, isolated from sunlight just like the Mariana Trench. If life can survive in Earth's deepest abyss using chemical energy alone, then similar life might exist in the oceans of other worlds. But the trench also delivers a humbling message about humanity itself. Even in a place so remote that only a handful of humans have ever seen it, the fingerprints of our civilization are already present. Plastic fragments, industrial chemicals, pollutants that have traveled across the entire ocean to settle at the deepest point on the planet. The abyss is not untouched. Our species has reached even here. Yet perhaps the most profound realization is this. The Mariana Trench reminds us how little we truly know about our own world. We have mapped distant planets. We have walked on the moon. But the deepest landscapes of Earth remain largely unexplored, hidden in the darkness below. Entire ecosystems continue to evolve in silence, waiting to be discovered. And somewhere in that eternal black ocean, beneath pressures that defy imagination, life persists against all odds. A quiet reminder that the greatest mysteries of our planet may still lie directly beneath our feet.